The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What is up, everybody? I'm your lovely host of the evening. I've got blood running down my leg. Like, I've got a boo-boo, and it ain't cool. But I do have a whole bunch of lights up. If you can't tell, it feels like a disco rave in here because it's set to voice activated, talking, whatever. My lights are going crazy. I'm having fun with it, though. If you have epilepsy, you should probably look away. Joining me as always, my left-hand man, the author, David Applegate.
I'm pretty sure the epileptics are already out of the picture. I'm sorry. Oh, that was poor taste. But true, you should have given the spoiler alerting first, not expose them for like a whole minute.
Oh well.
Anyway, greetings.
I've got a night. He's all the way from a round table anime night.
Hey guys, hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. Let's see what we got going on today on the men's room.
Last but not least, we have the father himself, the channel dad, Brian Lake.
Ich habe etwas zu trinken und es ist nicht Wasser. Guten Tag.
You're telling us to eat the bugs?
What did you say?
I have something to drink and it is not water.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure you're telling us to eat the bugs.
It's vodka.
Vodka.
Now this
So
sounds
you're
water.
speaking German and not Russian.
Okay.
Although vodka's Ukrainian, isn't it?
I don't know.
So crazy. Sitting down here at my desk, I just was like ramming my leg into this picture frame that's underneath my desk.
I thought you said I thought you said at least I'm not bleeding.
Oh no, I am. Like, well, there's like a little bit.
All right.
Probably not. Whatever.
All right.
Anyway, what's happening? How are you guys doing? Everybody good?
Yeah.
It's hotter than crap here. Well, not as hot as you guys.
Super.
No, it's hot. It's 107. It's 107 here.
Yeah.
What? No way.
Yes, I am not bullshitting. It is 107 degrees out here.
Don't stir the climate lunatics and tell us how hot it is.
And tomorrow it's gonna be 100 and what is the 12th? It's gonna be 103 tomorrow.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, actually, Tuesday the 9th, it was 110 out here, and I felt it.
So I was watching ET tonight or something. One of those nights, somebody fell, and like when their hands caught themselves on the rocks, it burned their hands, like 2nd-degree burns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was like out in California or if I was out in Arizona or something like that, like Nevada.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, he fell forward and he caught himself and like it burned all up under his hands and stuff. That was rough, dude.
It happens all the time. It's just the media likes to make a big deal of things to politicize climate.
Well, I mean, our climate's a cycle. The quicker you understand it, the better you are.
I just did a video on it the other day. You have the UN talking about climate change and global boiling, and they also then in the next report they're talking about an ice age beginning in 2030. So, they got your both ends. They got the both ends covered, right?
Yep.
How to win at predictions? Make them all. Deal them out.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's so stupid. I mean, I believe we should take care of our environment, but I don't believe that climate change is the problem.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, back then it used to be, oh, plant trees, plant trees. Now it's like, hey, children, here's a chainsaw. Go cut down a tree to save Mother Earth.
Exactly. Or it's all like, ooh,
What?
the trees are making everybody gay.
Yeah, cut down trees to make windmills.
No wonder I was getting dirty looks on the way home. No wonder I was getting dirty looks on the way home. The fuck?
Yeah. And meanwhile, China, India is saying, hey, how many more coal plants should we build this week? 50, 60? Nah, let's make it 100.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Posting live on X. Hashtag live on
Climate change
X.
was created to make you feel good about shutting down industry and shipping it off overseas.
Well, yeah.
Because
Yes,
it's only the poor who are losing their jobs. We investors still we still own the companies. So
you know, I bet it must be really nice.
So, what y'all been doing this week? What's been going on? Everybody doing good? Other than being hot. What everybody up to?
I've just been grinding out content lately, and I gained a good chunk of subscribers, so I'm almost to 360.
That's awesome.
Yeah, then cool. I had two more haters on my Xbox on one of my Xbox videos, but I'm just letting them cook. I'm just sitting back, like, dude, keep talking your shit. You're helping the video. You're helping the video.
Dude, Xbox sucks.
Xbox is losing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The funny thing is, the haters that hate on their content, they're helping the video. They're helping the algorithm. So it's working. You clowns are taking the time to comment everything. It's like, hey, thank you for the extra views. Thank you.
Yeah.
Making the video more relevant.
I'm not picking up many on YouTube, but I picked up a couple on Rumble.
Yeah, there you go. Growth in other sectors is good than nothing at all. I did make one last night though.
Slowly growing every day on X, so you know.
Yeah. Hey, so what's this about Project 2525? I've been seeing stuff pop up about it, but I don't know too much about it.
I read last night, and this was nowhere else. According to the Russians, Project 2025 was a hack performed by a group of gay furries on a conservative group. Yes. It was funny. An inside document by a group of conservatives who got together, about 100 or so conservative groups got together and started throwing ideas at each other to come up with a list of things they can all agree on. It's a working document. It isn't even finished. It's just something they ripped off somebody's hard drive. And they called in Ben Shapiro, of all people, to Congress and asked, did you say this? And Ben Shapiro says, yes, I agree with myself. And Eric Stallwell just just wasted millions of taxpayer dollars. Just asked us, do you believe that being gay is wrong? As a religious Jew? Seriously? Just to find out that Ben Shapiro is a religious Jew. How's that? Brian, did you ever guess that one? Did you really need Congress to point it out for you?
Did he say Israel first, too?
No, this was Russian news, so they're not going to put it all out.
No, Shapiro. That's what Shapiro said. You know, he's Israel first. So.
No, that's what I'm saying. They only clipped it. They didn't play the whole thing.
You mean that little pipsqueak, that little Israel fanboy?
Fangirl, please. We must not assume gender.
That reminds me, I need to buy him a skirt this year. I need to buy him a skirt. and have him
Who
wear
is
it
it?
on. Ben Shapiro.
Oh,
I'm
God.
having to buy that Ben a skirt and just be like, here's $50,000. Wear the skirt while you're doing your show.
If you give me $50,000, I'll wear a skirt.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna
It says
lie.
Ben
Like,
Shapiro's gay.
dog, I don't. I mean, $50,000. That's money, dude. And like,
Yeah,
I'm down.
no. I'm not saying don't wear it. I said you got to write on it. Ben Shapiro's gay.
Oh, okay. $50,000, man. I'll do a lot of things for that.
It must be nice to be an investor, though. Like all these little idiots running around with the money, just sitting there like, yep, everything is fine. You know what? I could probably do something.
Everything is
about the Atlanta Hawks.
awesome.
Yeah, but
What's that?
Shapiro's a photon.
Acolyte to the 0.63 viewing. Oh, that's completely fine. That's on Mondays. Oh, we're coming out with a new
Acolyte
episode.
sucked so bad they took down the scoring system. Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Acolyte's so
this.
bad that it didn't even make the top 10 of best.
We're giving more money.
It didn't make.
There's
Not only
season
did it
2.
not make the top 10 of shows viewed that week, except it made the top 10 worst shows of that week.
Dude, it's so bad. It's so
It's
bad.
so bad. Grace Randolph called it bad. That's how bad it
What?
was.
Oh,
Yep,
man.
she
They're
said the
doomed
last.
now.
Yeah, Grace Randolph says the last episode is terrible, and apparently it's cancelled.
You serious, Clark?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
she
sure.
called for it to be
We're serious.
cancelled. Yeah, apparently
Hold
the
on.
rank was taken down though, but yeah, she took
It's
it down,
time
but-
for a child break.
Go for a trial break. Yes,
Childless interruptus.
but all seriously, Ben Shapiro puts the con in conservative.
Yeah.
He's the biggest con artist. No, actually, no. Boogie is worse. Boogie
There's a reason why he was
outclasses
fired
him.
from Breitbart. Okay?
Boogie by far the if you look up the
Who was fired
definition-
from Breitbart?
Oh,
No. Shapiro.
Boogie? Oh. No.
Anyway,
Are you talking about the Boogie cancer scandal?
yeah. I was gonna make a video on it, but I had no energy because I was already editing another video and I had no energy to even.
I thought he went
So
to
I
jail.
said I said what I said on Twitter and I meant it because I have lost complete respect for the dude. Because
Yeah.
I know certain people who are going through all the medical conditions. David's one of them. He has proven it countless times. He has the paperwork, everything to back his claims up. Everybody else back theirs up. Get this. What kind of moron turns down $60,000? That's a lot of money. That's like, that could get you so much more and everything and dunk on the haters. But he's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to. And I'm like, you clown.
Hey,
This
Annie.
is your one chance to come clean and silence the critics. The one.
Boogie's been running this scam though. Boogie's been running scams since 2022. It's nothing new. Okay.
Mm-mm.
A lot of
Justin
big
Pierce says
YouTubers-
Shapiro sucks anyway.
a lot of YouTubers have run scams. Somebody the other day was doing an in-depth on Mr. Beast. He's probably one of the most successful money launderers out there.
That dude makes some crazy content.
Yeah. But he pretty much buys his audience. He pays off his audience. People are coming only for the off chance that maybe he'll throw $5,000 at them. Nobody knows where all this money comes from.
Does it matter? I mean, it's probably sponsors, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, he's not the only one. There's quite a few couple of channels where they have absolutely almost no viewers, millions of followers, and they're always saying, hey, my sponsor's giving out 40 grand today, and suddenly the view count goes up, you know. So
Yeah. Hey, our phone lines are open. You can call us 540-669-0748. Call us and tell us what you thought, your thoughts on the current state of events, because I can't believe this is real. All this stuff's really going on.
well, what? George Clooney holding a fundraiser for Biden, and the next day saying he must go. That was
They froze $90 million of Democrat funding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they don't want Joe Biden.
The super PAC.
Yeah.
I want to know
what's
I really want to know what's really going on, because they've known this about Biden for years, and now there's all this suddenly infighting.
It's because he doesn't want, like, he served his time. He's been the puppet that they need. Now, if you've been watching the last 3 to 4 months, they've really persuaded the public through the media that that Joe Biden's not.
Well, he originally even said he would get in and
step aside for the.
Yeah. Well, but it's just crazy, because you could look at the media and look at how that they're focusing and thinking. You can definitely tell the media doesn't want anything to do with this guy.
Look,
when the media gets their talking points from what?
I think I had somebody at the door.
Okay. The media gets their talking points from whoever runs the media. They don't get it from actual, like, journalism. It's they get it fed down. My thoughts to a 3-letter organization. It starts with a C, but that's just my thoughts. And see, once they're done with somebody, the media will start turning on them, and and that's when the globalists are over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, see, and Barry needs him in there because he's controlling them, right? So
what's crazy is that there's rumors floating around, and it, like I said, this is all just speculation, I think. But in the beginning, it was Joe Biden that helped Obama get in, because Obama really came from nothing.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. He. There's the last Peter Sellers movie. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it almost like it's a script of what they did with Obama, where he just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he becomes senator, becomes president, right? And he's just, and the destruction of America was his goal. I mean, he said it over and over and over again. Fundamental change. Well, fundamental means at the lowest level, at the structure, the core of what the country is built on. It's not how do we express that differently. It's how do we completely change it.
Yeah.
What was the name of that? Being There. That was the name of the movie. If you haven't seen Being There and you remember the Obama years, go watch that movie. It is.
I have not seen that.
It is a peek into politics in America, almost. Well, it's they're telling you what they're doing, right? They put it in your face, and you don't stop them because you just think it's entertainment. Oh, it's this a nice little movie. No, it's like Soylent Green. Soylent Green is not just some dystopic movie about the future. These are things they're doing, and the way that we're headed,
right?
And
or like Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, well, that's a documentary. Right? So you have these movies and what did that? It went in theaters and kind of went poof. It's like when you get an outsider telling the truth, they will demonize them, they'll arrest them, they'll do stuff. But every once in a while, the insiders will give you a peek of what they're really doing, what they're really like, and people it just goes right over their heads. They just see it as entertainment.
Yes. Like Michael Moore,
and he.
Hold on,
he,
can I say this?
Go ahead.
Michael Moore was caught recorded, right, praising Trump, and they ran it as an ad. The next day, Michael Moore went on a huge tirade about Trump, saying, but he never said it was a lie. He never said it was made up.
Right.
He just said he would never vote for Trump, but he said everything Trump said about Biden was true, which goes to the point that they are not documentary makers. They're entertainers. They're paid. I mean, Gutfeld even asked, how did Clooney make $1 billion off a tequila brand that's sitting at the bottom of the list, Yeah,
JP says that it's to dissuade confidence in human leadership.
Yeah.
It is. It is. As I was saying, there's a video out there on, it's called How to Survive the Police Interrogation, and it tells you the 4 steps the police do to break up your confidence so that you will confess no matter what. And if you look through it, you'll start to actually say, wait a minute, this sounds like the evening news.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could just see that it's so bullcrap that they, you can watch them lift him up, turn him around, and then throw him away. And it's anybody with a brain should be able to see that the media, the globalists are done with him.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders, whoever's in charge,
they don't want us to decide. This is a psychological operation where they want us to getting used to somebody else choosing the president.
Yeah.
Until
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole point of the super delegates and all that other stuff, right? That's how they kept Bernie Sanders, because you had someone, whether you agree with Bernie or not, you have someone who was for real change on the Democrat side, and
had support,
right? And had support, a lot of support, popular support. So
he had enough to win.
He
had enough to win onto the stage, and it's not just Bernie. So they did that to Halsey, and she left the party.
Yeah.
Though Bernie's back on the shill.
Bernie, they were able to pay off.
Yeah,
they found something.
He's doing everything. He's doing their bidding. Yeah.
Yeah, they found something on him, or somehow they persuaded him. Hey, you got to sit down.
You want to go to jail over not repaying that loan?
Yeah.
But it stems from Ross Perot. Ross Perot in the 90s scared the living hell out of the establishment of both parties. And the Democrats, the Democrats set up their super delegate stuff. The other side of it, it's interesting the Republicans never did something like this because they had the same problem with Reagan. Reagan would not go away. And every 4 years he'd come back, almost win. And finally in 1980, everything was so bad under Carter because they'd gotten rid of Nixon and they thought, okay, we're in charge again. And Reagan kept coming back and his message kept speaking to boomers. Well, and the World War II generation, conservative, at least physically conservative people. And they couldn't get rid of him. So he gets elected. They did try to get rid of him. Was not successful. But then as soon as Bush is in, he's undoing all of Reagan's stuff.
And there goes the prosperity. They actually look, like Reagan or not, and people say, oh, Reagan takes cuts. That shows you how ignorant people are, because Reagan increased the effective tax rate from 22.4% to 32.4%. Because who cares that the tax rate was on over 300? People earning over 300,000 are paying 77% tax. That was 0.1% of the tax rate. Okay, that was 0.1% of the revenue.
No, there were two big tax raises under Reagan, some under Bush, and then the biggest one was under Clinton, of course, and it brought in less money. But if you look at the last 100 years, we have the Teapot Dome scandal, which was bullshit. You have popular or / conservative presidents in either party get elected. Hoover and others, they blame the Depression on him, and it wasn't it. Kennedy had a very interesting, almost Jeffersonian look at the Democratic Party that they hadn't seen since probably the 1830s, and we know what they did with Kennedy. And RFK had a similar. Reagan had a similar idea on the Republican side. He was a Democrat and watched the party walk away from him. And they tried to assassinate him. They failed. And then when he died, I mean, the outpouring of support from people when Reagan died was, I don't think you've seen that for a president since George Washington.
And the thing is, a lot of people said we should have kept Reaganomics. All the other policies they could disagree with, but they should have kept Reaganomics.
Oh yeah. Well,
they shouldn't have changed the tax system.
The whole concepts were based on Adam Smith Wealth of Nations. I mean, that's where it stems from. And the whole idea is that free enterprise is what drives your economic engine. And you do need some guardrails. It's not a free for all because people do things they shouldn't.
Free for all.
No, but what I'm saying is the idea was to unleash the middle class without so many burdens, and and I forget who called it trickle down, which was a misnomer because that's not what it is.
That was Bush. That was Bush, but he was VP then, so they blame Reagan. But it was actually Bush.
Right. It's supply side economics,
Yeah.
and it's goes back to the Austrian school of economics. So
But
it's
see, the Democrats, that's the biggest difference between Democrats and Republicans. Republicans say it's got to come from the private industry, right? Whereas the Democrats say these days, no, it's the supply, it's the fiscal side. We've got to just keep supplying more money until the economy balances out.
Yeah, that's the Keynesian approach. And the Keynesian economics only works on paper because you can fudge your numbers.
It also only works on paper because it doesn't. Because Keynesian never accounted for what's called maximum market.
Right. But
you've only got so much space in your home. You've only got so many needs in your life. And once you're satisfied, you're not going to spend for no reason.
Well, and that's what we saw with when they made money freely available and people stopped spending because they didn't need it anymore. They stopped borrowing because they didn't need it. But that's similar to what Kennedy was proposing in the early 60s, cutting the top marginal rate, unleashing the middle class. He was bringing some of that supply side ideals into the Democrat Party, and they thanked him
it back
for it.
Because it does go back to the difference between the Republicans and Democrats before the Republicans became a party, in that there were both supply. Before it was Keynesian economics, there were always that argument about government versus private in the early days of the colony.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was the Republican-Democratic Party, and the Republican side of that believed in unchaining. They fought a war against the king. We have a Republican form of government.
And then it wasn't unchaining industry; it was releasing the farmer from the whole.
And oddly enough, it was the Democratic side of that was the majority pro-slavery, and they still are. So now the DNC they find their new change. But anyway, getting back to some of the other items we were talking about, that when this is the Being There movie that I talked about, and I forget who I heard it from years ago, but yeah, it's interesting. And then like movies like Eyes Wide Shut are kind of telling you what's going on a little bit more. This kind of thing. We see with Biden over the last several years, and I don't know how far back in time the videos of him sniffing kids go, but just, his daughter's diary and all that stuff, in my view too, what I see with Jill is a result of abuse, right? I'm positive that Biden, Joe was abused as a child. I'm pretty certain that he abused Jill when she was their babysitter. It's the cycle just keeps going, and it just feeds on itself. And and these behaviors you see with some of these people are like, how could you? It's because they may not remember, but there's some memory in the back, some suppressed thing that's driving their behaviors because of some trauma that happened to them when they were young.
Jimmy Dore calls the American public an abused child.
Yeah. Well, look at what you're getting with I don't get all the generation straight. Who are the 20-year-olds now? Is that Gen Y or is that millennials?
No, millennials are 35 plus. The ones after.
Yeah, I'm a millennial.
Yeah, so it's Gen Y, or Alpha, or
whatever.
Gen
Z.
I was born in '92. So.
No, right. It's Gen Z. Y is the teens. Yeah. Y is the teens.
So you see that. TikTok in many ways is an expression of this behavior that was already there.
Yes.
And social media just makes it worse. And it's like explosion of, we had this past week, we had another transgender person shooting people, shot their mother and their mother's boyfriend.
And then blamed it on not being accepted. But that's just terrorism that's instilled in them by TikTok.
It's all that.
With something, this is how you do it.
Yeah, all that mind control that's just pushing, and you add to it all of the stuff in the environment, and I'm not going to go down the whole is it the jabs or not, the whole schedules, but and now it's come out even more that they're putting this stuff, they're starting to feed it to cattle and all that. So you're going to get your mRNA injections when you
they're
eat.
forcing it on you, whether
Yeah.
you want it or not.
And
They're
there's
mandating it.
all manner of evidence that this stuff doesn't work and it's dangerous for people. And it's like, that's
But
because
the
there's
problem
this
is,
satanic force behind it.
well,
You know, pure evil.
it's-
If you don't believe in Satan and God, fine. There's a pure evil force that's pushing all this out.
no. Look, those who don't say they don't believe in God, I don't believe them, because most of these so-called atheists are echoing the satanic agenda. And there is now an open push to make Satanism the Church of America. You can have an after-school Satan club and not get it, and the Freedom from Religious mob won't show up. Why is it that you can have a after-school Satan club, you have an after-school Islam club, but you can't have a Buddhist, Christian, or anything else?
Anything positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that's,
and again, it comes back to the Son of Sam's confession, where you had, and then the so-called recanting after he was offered, he pretty much, we'll put you in a cell for life, or we'll execute you now.
Yeah.
And he recanted his confession.
But I mean, getting, we were talking about the Acolyte and how, wasn't it Rotten Tomatoes that took away the voting or the down voting or whatever? But this is why you have this explosion of all this LGBT. It's this stuff has been building up under. It's like a volcano, right? It's been building up under the surface for decades.
And the kids,
right, and it's one thing because I'm hard pressed to want to believe that it's okay to oppress people for certain things the way they are, right? If someone chooses and it's this consenting adults, I may not agree with it. I might think it's harmful, sinful, and that, but I'm not going to say we're stoning you out back because you did this.
No,
but the problem is the force driving for that acceptance. That's just the first, right. The force that's driving that, whether the people are aware of it or not. Hey, we want to be accepted as gay or whatever. Okay. They may believe that, but the force driving that wants it completely further into destruction of society. And this pattern has happened over and over, and whether it's just the fall of civilization, I don't know.
Every civilization that has collapsed, it didn't start or collapse because of LGBTQ. You were just the pawn.
Yeah.
The real collapse came when it was cannibalism, pedophilia, open murder in the streets, and fiscal irresponsibility reached the point of 400% debt when the economy could no longer sustain itself. And what happens? You notice one day Rome woke up one day and the elites were gone. There were nobody, not one rich person, not one government, not one member of the plebiscite. Every officer was gone. All that was left was the guards and the prisoners and the plebs. And they didn't know what was happening because they had no idea there was a war on their frontier that was coming.
No, especially on the Western Empire, right? You had the schism between the two, and Rome eventually becomes a backwater. And then, the Eastern Empire goes to World War One, but in various form, right? Or no, was that the Turks? The fall of Constantinople?
Yeah, Constantinople was the invasion by Turks and Iran. Yeah. And the Turks have occupied the region ever since and then complain about colonizers. You are the colonizers.
Right. It became the Ottoman Empire after that.
Yeah.
But because you had the Ottoman Empire, and then out of the western end of that is what the Austro-Hungarian Empire came out of.
Yes.
Split off.
And they made it, but they survived by making a deal with the Huns. They said they wanted independence from the Romans too. We'll clear the path for you. We'll let you pass through. And so they had peace.
But it is interesting.
400 years of peace under the Germans.
Yeah.
It's just that when it became the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, when the Austrians joined with the Hungarians, that's when things started falling apart because you had two competing ideals.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is, and I've not been to that part of Austria. You know, you get down in the lowlands, but it's so what I and to your point about the money, and it just you keep dividing it. So all this fake fiat currency that just keeps getting created keeps getting pumped into Hollywood. So this is how these companies are still around, even though they've been producing utter crap
unprofitable films
for how
since the
many
90s.
years now? I mean,
Since the 90s, most films have been unprofitable.
Well, I know, but the big franchises have just been destroyed in the last handful. I mean, as much as we want to piss and moan about the prequels of Star Wars, they made money.
Yeah,
And then The Force Awakens.
Not all of them, but out of the top 200 films, 174 didn't make a profit.
Right, but what I'm saying is, we have JJ rebooting Star Trek, and I don't think that was it. I think because JJ's a hack, I think that's what caused it to be not great.
Well, he is.
But and Star Wars didn't start out. I guess it did because Mary Sue.
Yeah, he laid the groundwork for its collapse, but because it was such like a drought of Star Wars films, unlike Star Trek. People went and saw it because, hey, it's a new Star Wars movie. There hasn't.
Well, yeah, that was the
end of them.
I mean, and that kind of started. I mean, it started. You know, that's how I started doing stuff, and WCBS and the fan cast, and now here, it's like, how many years now we've been complaining, and it's like because they're making fake money, these companies haven't collapsed, right? If it was a real economic engine, and they started doing this nonsense, we wouldn't have Disney, and we probably would have something better now, and we'd be like, hey, did you guys see the latest Top Gun 6 that was really awesome?
Yeah. Quick question. Democrats complain about trickle-down economics. True or false? True.
Well, they complain about it, but I don't think they understand what they're complaining about.
No, because what is Hollywood? Trickle-down economics, right? You pump money into the top, not into the bottom.
Trickle-down misery.
Yeah, anyway. But Hollywood is trickle-down economics, folks. It's pump money into the top, not the bottom.
Well,
when you bail out, see, this goes back to the bailouts under FDR. FDR did not bail out the depositors. That is a lie. He bailed out the banks.
Yeah.
And they had enough money left over to pay the depositors.
Yeah. But anyway. You got anything else you want to say about the Acolyte? This is your show, Mr. Appalachian America.
I haven't even seen the Acolyte. I don't care anything about it.
I don't have any way to watch it.
How about The Boys?
I'm not caught up on it. I saw where Alec Baldwin's trial got thrown out or something.
Yeah, what I heard kind of rumblings of that. You got details on that?
No, I just seen something on
it was something about there was information withheld from the defense.
Yeah,
they found out about that.
Apparently JP tried calling in and no dice, so try calling it again. I just dialed the number to make sure that it still worked. But yeah, that's the phone number if you want to try calling in again. Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through X and just looking at stuff, and apparently the trial should have never happened. The prosecution knew they'd suppressed evidence. Not only has Baldwin's case been dismissed, but Hannah's conviction will be too.
How do you get a guilty man off? Withheld evidence, right?
Yeah.
How many times throughout history have guilty men walked because the judge goes, "Oh, withheld evidence, they withheld evidence, they withheld evidence." That's how a lot of the mafia trials went in the 80s and the 70s. They'd walk in, say, "Oh, they've withheld evidence of how they obtained the information or whatever. Who's the snitch?" Because they didn't want to give up a witness. No, this is bullshit.
Of 19 was directly to Mr. Baldwin's motion to lie about pulling the trigger of the gun. I'm 63 years old with 6 kids. I can't rely on luck anymore. He's talking about his career and that he's not on luck anymore. This goes exactly to his motivation not to tell the truth.
He just walks out of court.
Is that Baldwin that just walked out?
He just walks out. Yeah.
Are we sure that was a lady? Because that really looked like a dude.
Hey,
What's up,
partner.
JP?
Am I live?
Hey, JP. Yep, you're on.
Yeah, dude, we're live. We're on Rumble. We're on Rumble X and YouTube.
Oh,
We're
now I
like
hear you
big
through my
time now.
AirPods.
You good? JP Slim and Swank. I saw that. I heard about that on the Patreon cast. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, man. A little radio swag we got going on. But no, I was bored, man. And I was like, man, that's an interesting topic. What's going on? What's happening? It's like professional wrestling now.
Yeah, dude. It's like drinking from a fire hose. But it's so there's so much going on right now. Whether it be Biden's being shunned from the media, we're talking about Alec Baldwin getting his case dismissed for no apparent
They
reason.
let him off?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
They dismissed the case. They withheld evidence.
Well, that sounds about right.
So, rules for the...
Yeah, that's right.
But, yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's just like the world we're living in. You know how if a TV show goes on for too long, like the last few seasons are just cockamamie and out there just to keep people like dialed in. That's what we're dealing with. I mean, this show is on its last leg, and they're just making it more outrageous to keep our attention. But this whole life we've been living, man, it's getting ready to go away in a very real way. That's my opinion, anyway.
Calling in Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play a character, telling me he's only got a certain amount of time, and so he starts planning his career, and then at the end, pulling the rug out from under his career by saying, "No, we're going to keep your character."
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. It's just everything's about to fall apart.
Which character was he? Huh?
I'm talking about Negan. How he's pissed off. How they kept jerking him around with Negan, keeping him from season to season, so he couldn't plan his career.
Oh yeah, I understand that. That was stupid. I mean, they should have just let him do what he did in the comics and just kind of wander off.
Oh, you're breaking up on me.
Well, that's how he did it. That's how he left, right?
In the comic book, yeah. In the comic book, he just kind of wandered off.
Yeah, but I just bring that up because that's the latest. I sent you the video on that the other day. But that's just the latest in the long string of people in Hollywood have said they've been typecast. They've been told, "No, you're going to play Superman for the rest of your life." And he said, "No, I'm going to go produce my own show." Oh, you can't do that.
I mean, that'd be cool and all if they actually made him, be a good Superman.
No, yeah, well, that's true. What's he?
JP dropped.
Just trying to think. They wouldn't let him play Bond because they said, "No, you're supposed to be Superman." So, Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
That's so
the only one who's getting. Yeah, they're telling a lot of male actors that they can't have major roles if they're white. Then that's like they're just. Disney executive was caught on tape saying it to one of the actors. No, you can't have a major role because you're white. They wonder why so many people hate Hollywood. Bad service. Oh, yeah, Justin, I understand.
Yeah, try getting on with no camera. Like just get on with no camera on. That usually frees up a lot of
bandwidth,
a lot of data or whatever.
Data, yeah,
whatever. Yeah, bandwidth. That's what I mean. But it blows my mind the amount of crap that they just get, that they get the Hollywood elites get away with.
Yeah, and you ask yourself, right? How does Hollywood afford to make 536 TV shows a year? I mean, when people wouldn't even watch like a handful. And people do blame Reagan because he took away the regulations between the layers of production.
I think Henry
Yeah.
Cavill, he deserves a lot better. Heck,
Well,
he
that's
could
why
be
he's producing his own stuff.
he should get the rights to Archer and make it. I could definitely see him as Archer.
He's Archer, yeah, but he's a Warhammer fan. That's why he's doing Warhammer. But yeah, he would have been better off doing Archer.
Who?
At least with that, at least he looks the part and everything, and I could
The problem
give it
is
a pass.
they killed that franchise by marrying it to the other franchise, Kingsman. Archer and Kingsman. They conjoined the two, and they were going to do a movie. This is another problem. Trying to get a Hollywood movie made could take a decade. So studios tie up a lot of people's time and money. And with so much stuff not getting made, I mean, how does Lucasfilm make 17 pilot TV shows and not even release one? I mean, like, you think. But Hollywood is nothing but looting the treasury chest, right? They look at the books, see $4 billion, and they go, "Let's go wild. Let's steal as much money as we can."
Yeah, and I wonder how many mutinies are going on right now behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, because Acolyte is proving everything. It's like, here you go. Heck, it makes the Last Jedi look good, and that's scary. Better yet, it makes the holiday special. I recently watched the holiday special. I actually enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed it, and I'm shocked that I am.
Here's bad television. Here's the holiday special. Here's the Acolyte. But here's the thing, okay? Dave Filoni let the cat out of the bag when he said, "I'm glad George isn't around," okay?
No,
and you think at first, no, hold on. You think at first he's saying that he's glad George isn't around to see this shit show. But wait a minute, he's still alive. No, George is the only voice in the room who's been telling him not to make this stuff since. That's why he left his advisory role at Disney, because they wouldn't, even Filoni. Filoni is a piece of crap. They're all up. They would not be under Kathleen Kennedy. That's why George has left. Like, they killed his baby. That's what he said.
He should take that cowboy hat off and put on a rainbow sailor hat. Like a rainbow sailor hat. Just really
phonies. They are. Hollywood is just phony after phony after phony. And the thing is, this dates back century, right? You've allowed Hollywood to become something special. You allowed Hollywood to tell you who to vote for. You allowed Hollywood to go from a nickel and dime store making good movies to charging you, I mean, they're a monopoly.
6 mansions worth. Like 6 mansions worth just to see a movie.
Denzel Washington walks on set and there's $12 million. Why? He's a piece of shit. He's not that. He's not as good as Carl Urban or any other actor. He's just a piece of shit. He's got one expression. Mean ape face, I call it. When the lips are out, and that's all, man. He's just maybe 20 years ago, right? He had range. But even then, I would say I wouldn't pay. I'm sick of paying for movies that are just remakes of other movies. I'll just go see the original.
A lot of
That's
these
why.
actors lost their range, like, along the way. Because you go back to their older stuff, they were good. Like, they were really good at it. And you look at it now, it's like,
Because they're
what
tired, they
happened?
don't have to work. They're tired, they're exhausted, they're it's like every creator. You run out of steam. It's why so many authors only write one book, because they've only had one idea. It's like actors. They've only got, Picard. He had a few good, the guy who played Picard. He had a few good shows as in minor roles. He played Picard for almost a decade, and that's all he's known for now, because he just ran out. He couldn't go. He couldn't do it. He went for other roles, and just everybody just said blah. Actors run where they're out there welcome very quickly. It's like politicians, really, isn't it? They wear out their welcome very quickly. Yeah. They run out of ideas. There's only so many things that you can do. I mean, at this point, they're not supposed to be coming up with new ideas. They're supposed to be managing your success. Instead, they're running everything into the ground because it's not their success, because it's not going to be their name in the history book. And it's sad, and it's pathetic how people just put up with Hollywood and the psychotic shit show. And the thing is, here's the scary part. I think a lot of people wanted drugs to be illegal because they wanted the thrill of being naughty. And all this obsession with healthcare is just a bunch of degenerates who want you to pay for their degenerate lifestyle. And meanwhile, Europe is sliding into World War III as Poland wants to fire missiles over Poland into Ukraine, allegedly to stop Russian cruise missiles.
Poland, the last time you tried anything, you got pelted and hammered from both sides. You have no room to talk.
No, yeah, the last time Poland caused the trouble. Last time Poland caused World War II. Like before that, it was France.
Go ahead, Seth. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Speaking of missiles, what's the deal with us putting missiles over in Ukraine?
Okay, Biden's up the ante. You know about HIMARS. Apparently, there's a bunch of different versions of them, and one is called the National Strategic Defense or whatever. It's like dates back to Reagan, right? This is a missile with a 300 to 700 mile range, right? So this would reach Moscow.
Yeah.
And the Russians will say, "You dare? You put that there? We're going to hit it with something hard and something big. As soon as we find that launcher, we are going to blow it up." They didn't say don't dare put it in Ukraine. They're saying we're going to find it. They believe it's already there. If they're talking about launching missiles at Moscow, the Russians have started hunting for it. And if they do hit Moscow,
I just heard where we're already putting. We've already got missiles over there that we're being aggressive.
Yes, they are. They transferred the missiles sometime in the last couple of weeks from Poland and announced that they've done it, and Russia's started hunting for the launcher. And if the Ukrainians hit Moscow with this missile, because it's not a small deal. It'll take out a city block, and you know which city block they're going to hit or try to hit. And if they do it, that's it. It's game over. They're going to hit a city. They're going to destroy a Ukrainian city. Absolutely devastate it. They're just going to keep firing at it every day until it's gone. Said it block by block.
Yep.
They already told the Ukrainians to get out of Kharkiv. So
I don't know what any of that area is.
Kharkiv is
Like,
a
I don't
city.
really. I mean, I
It's on the
stopped
front
paying
line.
attention when there was pictures floating around of Ukrainian people partying and going to the beach and just kind of
Yeah.
hanging out. So I was
That-
like, I don't think
that
this
was
is
from the south
a
of Spain,
serious
yeah.
ordeal anymore.
No, the rich Ukrainians have
Okay.
left. Most of the half the male population is dead. The other half are too old, too young. But yeah, they keep talking about the millions of Ukrainians who went to Europe. Yes, but did you talk about the 7 million that went to Russia? I mean, half the population is gone, either by immigration or death. And the people who are left, they're just waiting to die.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's see if
Zelensky's a fool.
this will play.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin.
What an idiot.
He's right. The president of Ukraine is Vladimir Putin. Zelensky's just some guy who is.
Well,
not...
that's like last night. All right. So did y'all watch the press conference last night?
about,
I caught
No,
I caught
I didn't
bits
either.
of
I
it.
watched it this morning. But he called Trump his VP.
Yeah.
He's
So
like
the
Vice
president of
President
Ukraine
Trump.
is. So Trump's VP, bring on. Time to invoke the 25th Trump VP. Step up, please, VP Trump.
That would be the great.
Yeah.
That would be the greatest thing if he steps.
Trump should have just put out a tweet. Thank you. I accept the position.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kamala. I accept this position and would have created a huge shit show. Well,
That's
Trump,
2 black girls he stifled this week. That's 2. The one Biden supporter, and then Kamala Harris last night. Not looking good. Oh no. Zelensky looked like he was ready to shove the podium down. Like, how dare you?
Oh, look.
Okay, what do we got here?
Do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat
yes,
Donald
the
Trump
client
if
list.
she were at the top?
Julian Assange put out a
I wouldn't
statement
have
about the
picked Vice
client list
President
and why it's
Trump
not
to be Vice
published.
President.
Did you hear that?
How you screw up a question like that? That's oh my god, this answer.
David, did you hear that?
No.
I'll be quiet.
That's right. I didn't think you did.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
It's not playing at my end.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to Vice President because I think she's not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
Did that play
it's not playing
well?
at my end. No, it didn't come through my end.
Okay. Is it playing now?
I can see it now, yes.
All right.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, she's not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
Then why is she there? Because, as Julian Assange said, she's only there to stop you from getting rid of Joe. Same with the Epstein client list.
Yeah.
They're not publishing it to stop you. It's to stop so that because once it's out there, they've got no reason. Just the thing, as long as Joe doesn't publish the client list, they'll keep him there. But now that there's a threat that the client list is out there, Hollywood's turning against Joe because their blackmail no longer has power. That's why they're turning against Joe, because they don't think he's got it. It's a bluff. They think the FBI hasn't given it to him. It's the same with the Diddy client list. They think it's all sitting in Jamaica, untouched. They think they're safe.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Clooney's on it.
That was
Clooney, Hanks, they're all on it. I mean, Clooney just out of nowhere announced marriage. Remember when
I'm kind
Clooney
of out of
got married?
topics, and we're at an hour, so I don't know what to do. I guess David will just continue talking.
Well, Disney Japan announced a huge loss.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, yeah, do tell.
I'm just trying to bring up the story now because apparently, Disney Tokyo Resort has a long and troubled history. Disney's announced $11 billion in streaming losses, and Disney Japan, they're going to slash jobs. How much money did they lose? Big question mark. Exactly how much? But the Tokyo Disney Resort has faced significant losses, and they're carrying a loss of over $400 million for 5 weeks. They've lost totaling 46 billion yen because they're the last to reopen. They're now calling it the downfall of Disney. Disney has grows an unfair exaggeration of the facts that they are not a profitable company. Their revenue has fallen 5% on a 6% profit margin. On a 6% profit margin. That they have lost 5% from streaming and Tokyo. They have not $400 million for it costs every 5 weeks. Disney has to send $400 million to Japan to keep it open. Fuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like Blade said.
Because he's now the vice president.
Yay, VP. Yay, VP Trump. How?
That's too funny.
I was cracking so hard at what Biden said, and even Zelensky, he looked ready to like shove the podium over and beat up Biden. He was ready.
Oh,
just
look.
I'm like, do it.
Actually, Zelensky's
do it.
pissed. Zelensky's pissed because he wants to strike Moscow with the missiles that are sitting in. He wants to strike Moscow. Absolutely.
And Zelensky needs to be removed from office.
This is all.
He's scared.
Look, people don't understand.
Didn't they already have like a president, like a presidential?
No, his term expired.
Crap.
No
I didn't
election.
think Zelensky was still the president.
No, he's not. His term has expired. But Biden said he must not step down until the end of the war.
So basically, he's a dollar store Chancellor Palpatine.
Yes, dollar store Palpatine is exactly it. Except Palpatine was taller and smarter. This is all about
the better dresser.
Look, this is all about personal vendettas between Larry Fink, Putin, Biden, Clinton, and all the other stakeholders. This is not about Ukraine. This is about a bunch of greedy old men who've run up the debt so high, yet they're still alive and they want the party to continue. So, like, what's his name? Riley, the big British billionaire who was bankrupt, and basically the life of Riley just basically kept throwing parties and going around quietly asking people to pay for their pay to keep going. Yeah.
I know one thing. If I was one of these shareholders, I would have pulled all the funding out a long time ago.
Well, BlackRock lost don't forget, if Disney loses money, BlackRock loses money, and BlackRock's profit margin, they may have revenue in the assets in the trillions, but their revenue is less than 500 million, and their costs are around 380 billion. So they're losing money. They're too big. They can't manage the assets. They're starting to crumble at the edges, and they're trying to get their hands on the resources in Ukraine, and it ain't working because the Russians are saying, nope, mine, grabbed it. Why was that? That's why they're destroying Kharkiv. That's why they're destroying Chasiv Yar. That's because they want to clear out those areas, create a big no-go zone right across their frontier. And basically, they're also turning against medical cannabis, by the way, the media. But most stories, yep. Because of side effects that are starting to show up, because they've never had a long-term study in marijuana use before. That 1 in 10 teenagers are turning psychotic, and when they go off marijuana, they stop. And we might wonder why, after all this time, they're turning against medical marijuana, because there's no more politics, no more money in it.
JP
no
says I'll
money
start
in
watching
big
WWE
pharma.
again after many years once it's on Netflix. Maybe Triple H can make pro wrestling great again. Yeah, dude, I've been watching it since WrestleMania, man. It's been pretty good.
Well, that's the
I'm
thing.
definitely back on the WWE train.
Oh, that's good. If somebody can come along and basically put the wheels back on that wagon, so be it. I'm not going to tell people they can't like it. As far as I'm concerned, it's your entertainment. You choose your entertainment. It's still you still got the right to choose your entertainment. Granted, a few rights you got left, isn't it?
Well, I think I'm ready to jump out of here, man. I'm getting tired, and I'm kind of out of ideas to talk about.
Can I just mention there's a new game out, First Ascendant. I don't know how much people like co-op shooters in that, but it's really blowing away all the other games. And the big controversy is about to hit with Japan.
Did he freeze or did I freeze?
Did I freeze?
Somebody did. I don't know if it was me or you.
All right. So there's a lot going to happen next week. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But this week has been too funny, and everything has just been so distracted by Biden and his gaffes. And I think that's part of the reason why they chose him, because he is a big gaff maker and he could distract from everything.
Oh, David dropped. All right. So that was just me. Now Anime Night and Channel Dad are away. I don't know what they're gonna do. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Coffee and games in the morning at 7 a.m. We're gonna have a good time tomorrow. But I think we're gonna dive back into Cyberpunk 2077 because it runs pretty good on the PlayStation 5 as opposed to my PS4 where it kept crashing. Check out Anime Night's channel.
It does. New video was posted.
It has so far. It has so far. Check out Anime Night's channel. He goes live on Sunday nights for the Knights of the Round Table. Brian Lape does beer reviews and supplement reviews. David's got a couple books, and he goes live every day to talk, which he's good at that. Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., right here on the men's room, wherever you're, it's X, Rumble, or YouTube, wherever we're going to be. We'll be there 7 a.m. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
Good night, Jimbo.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. You, New World Order. You, Bill Gates.